Hello, friends. Doesn't that remind you of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? I always wanted to do that. But it's fitting. You're like, that guy's kind of lost it, right? But no, today we're talking about love thyself, right? So sometimes people won't go out and get that little thing that makes them happy. Like, oh no, I'm working on my pain body today. I'm trying to practice self-restraint, but they're really injecting more pain and suffering on themselves because they don't feel like they're good enough. I mean, we don't want to go overboard either with self-indulgence, right? But, okay, let me get my marker. So, it's the last talk of this series about love. And I want it to be special. I wanted to dress up a little bit more and talk about, are things happening to me or are they happening for me? That's what we're all going to talk about today. How you interpret things. Whether you interpret it good, it results in pain. If you interpret it bad, then it results in joy and happiness, gratitude. So the first thing I like to say, and you hear me talk about it, is work on saying this to yourself every day until you really get it, you believe it. It has to be part of your internal dialogue. And we can rewrite it. A lot of people think that's so hard, but write it where you can see it. That is, and these are the four most powerful phrases in the universe. Take it with a grain of salt. And if we say them to other people, if something really bad happens or we wrong someone, maybe it's minor. You know, my roomie that we share a house with, he's great. Right away he'll say he's sorry, and they're like, well, it's not a big deal. Don't even worry about it. So sometimes we got to get better about that with ourselves. But you heard me say we need to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And here how I said the last part, you got to say it with feeling. So if we're working on this, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, then the emotional pain that we have will not continue to create dis-ease in our life. And that's huge for a lot of people. They get to this point and they still haven't gotten, hey, emotional pain is at the root of my dis-ease. That's huge. So we need to learn to love ourselves. And you only can answer that question. You got to figure out ways to love yourself. We've talked about havening, eating right, so many different things. So I'd like to tell you a good story about the beggar's box. So there's a beggar sitting on the side of the road. He's sitting on a box and he's asking for money. He's got his cup. And a stranger walks by and he says, hey, what's in that box? It looks valuable. And the beggar said, there's nothing valuable in this box. So he said, well, why don't you just check? Let's just open it up. So the beggar goes and he pries it open. Hadn't been opened in a long time. And he looks in and it's gold. It's full of gold. So a lot of you are good with illustrations. You already got it. We can apply that to ourselves. If we're afraid to look inside, then we're not going to find all the valuable gems, the gold, the worth, the value that we can then give to other people and then see such a great return on it. So we have so many treasures that are waiting to come out. Because all the time until he realized what beauty was within, he just had an illusion that there was nothing valuable in that box. And he created suffering because he didn't have anything. He just, going around begging. A lot of people say, oh, I'm not a beggar. I beg to differ. Most humans are emotional beggars. They're like going around, can you please fill my cup up of love? I don't have any, so you should fill it up. And if you don't, then I'm going to get angry, and then it's a vicious cycle. But if you understand, let's say something bad happens, you say, oh, why'd this happen to me? Well, because it gives you an opportunity to then show the unlimited amount of love that you have within you. So then you can go give some of that love to someone else. And like, oh, even if they don't really respond, you get credit, that love's coming back. And you have to give out in abundance for it to work, right? The old illustration about the farmer was to sow his seed far and wide, and then he would reap a bountiful harvest, right? The farmers knew that they couldn't be lazy when it came to planting in the spring, and then just wait for stuff to happen, wait for the crops to come up without planting would be an illusion, right? That there's something's going to grow without throwing the seeds out. So we got to throw out those seeds of love. But first, it starts with us. And that's why we're talking about love thyself. Taking care of yourself and allowing yourself to release from the pain body that we have. A lot of you heard people talk about. It's more popular now than ever. We have a pain body for a reason, but we can throw it off and say, you know, I can enjoy life this coming year. I'm going to allow myself to do that. You might get resistance from people around you. That's okay. That's why we have meditation to help us to focus. Because in this system, fast-paced, everything's coming at us, more and more technology. There's chemicals, as we talked about. It's the technology. There's emotional. I'm trying not to say. There's emotionally needy people everywhere, so that can drain us. And some people want you to be happy because they're unhappy. So what happens is we get fragmented. We're like cracked, and we're trying to stay put together. So we can consciously say, I'm going to stop the fragmenting of my being. You know, being broken, cracked up, ruined. We can move in another direction, and that's why you're here, right? So what you're paying for is the help to give you the tough love that is, we create our own pain. And a lot of us know that, right? But implementing it, that's the real work. You can hear it said over and over again. I don't ever tell anybody it's all in your head, because that's not a good way to put it. What it is we're manufacturing by waiting for one day to be happy, right? You've heard that. And that's what the beggar was doing. He was sitting on a box of gold, waiting for one day for his ship to come in, for things to go his way. When people are on the side of the road, or somebody's out of work and they have a sign or whatever, and apparently they're not addicts, but they really do need some help. I like to help, and I'll tell them, I'll say, if you're out of work, go start doing good deeds for other people. You guys heard me say this, right? Go start doing good for others. Do what you can with the energy you have that day to help someone in need. Go volunteer at a shelter and watch that you reap that harvest will come back in on you until you're like, please stop. I'm going to stop doing good deeds because it makes me too busy, or there's too much love coming my way. So in the end, how do we love ourselves? I dressed up extra to show you I'm showing love to myself by keeping myself very well kept and healthy and hydrated, all those good things. I bought this simply because it was fun. I'm like, hey, my sister used to play that on the piano. Maybe I could give it to her. So we have to, everything that happens, okay, some things maybe you can't apply it to, but most, 90-something% of the things that happen, we can say happen for me. And you can step up on that block, you can step up on that box, and then say, hey everybody, I have something to give. instead of sitting there going, oh, please, will you just give me some love? I don't have any here. When it's an illusion, just like the beggar, he was creating an illusion that all he had was so much pain that people had to come and rescue him. They had to come and give them money. We want people to come and give us our love that we so deserved when we were younger, whatever it might be. But you've heard before, and I'm here to tell you again, I'm living proof that you got to give what you need. So if somebody's having a bad day, they feed you some garbage, whatever it is, you got to view it as, okay, this happened for me to be able to then work on my new personality. And if you can, help that person. And sometimes all we can do is sympathize with people and tell them I've had similar situation, although it's not the same, and relate to people. Girls are much better at that. If guys can work on it, they can make a lot of friends. There's a lot of guys out there walking around carrying a lot of burden, but they don't know how to talk to people about it. And that's why you're here with us, and you stepped up and asked for more coaches than you know what to do with, so we can help you to live a happy, clean life. Isn't that what we all want? We want to be happy. And I believe the way to be happy is love yourself first and foremost every day in a healthy way, and give to someone as soon as possible, encouraging text or a gift. Today I did the InstaNote app to my friend who just had back surgery. I said, you know what, I want to do some filming, but let me do that first because I know the day is going to go better. I'm going to film better because I gave first. I gave to myself first, right? Did a little exercise, some cold water therapy, and some stretching. And then now I can give more because I was refreshed. I had a protein shake. If I don't do all that stuff, and then let's do a marathon amount of these talks, then I'm not going to give as much, right? I limit. If I have to do 1 or 2 a day, I try not to do any more because I know by the third, fourth one, I'm going to be not giving very well. So I build myself up every single day so that I can then give to other people. So I hope that helps. Remember, do little things throughout the day that make you happy to fill up your cup, and then you can then it empowers you to then give to other people. So my favorite scripture, should have had it ready. Sorry guys, I wanted to save it to the end. So I thought about it last talk, but it's from 1 Corinthians. Paul wrote a letter to early Christian congregation, and you've heard this before. It's been quoted all over the world. It's the Bible's definition of love, and I wish for you to implement it. It's a lot about what you shouldn't do. So look it up, read it every day. I should put it in the notes for the first talk, because it's just that's what this is all about, is applying the definition of love. I've tried to explain it. I hope I've done a good job in practical terms, but this is a little more poetic and precise. So if you're doing something, get ready to write the scripture down. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous, does not brag, does not get puffed up, does not behave indecently, does not look for its own interests. It does not keep account of injury. It does not become provoked. It does not rejoice over unrighteousness, but rejoices over the truth, and bears all things, hopes all things, believes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. It'll be in the notes, but that's 1 Corinthians 13. Check it out. Read the whole chapter. It's so good. It tells you all the things it is not. It's not the fear-based emotions. And it's a faithful witness. It's faithful to the people, your loved ones around you, no matter what. And from my end, with my personal experience, my mom, I've mentioned to you guys, I've been working on her health. She's been in her 60s. And to see her get more mental capacity, because she had bad habits in the past, to see more mental capacity and to see her love come back finally. Because I was like the leader of love in my family for a long time. Growing up, I was like, hey, you guys need to follow these standards. And we had a lot of dysfunction, but to show love to her, it reminds me of the scripture. I didn't realize till now. I love you, Ma. I'm going to send her this one. Because love never fails.